Day in the life with the Marble family. Chapter 1. Morning routine. Sun peeked over the horizon, casting a warm glow over the Marble household. The birds chirped cheerfully, welcoming a new day. In the cozy two-story house on Maple Street, the Marble family began their morning routine. Lily Marble, the matriarch of the family, was first to rise. She tiptoed out of bed, careful not to wake her husband Greg. As she made her way downstairs, a smell of freshly brewed coffee filled the air. Leela loved the quiet moments of the early morning, a time to gather her thoughts before the day's hustle and bustle began. She poured herself a cup of coffee, stepped on the porch, where could see her dog Rusty wagging his tail in anticipation for his morning walk. Rusty, a friendly golden retriever, was always full of energy, ready to start the day with a burst of enthusiasm. Back inside, the aroma of breakfast cooking soon wafted through the house. Lily was a fantastic cook, known for delicious pancakes and scrambled eggs. She hummed a tune as she worked, flipping pancakes, stirring eggs, playing a symphony of morning sounds. Upstairs, the sound of an alarm beeped, signaling the start of the day for the Marble children. Sophie, the eldest at 12, groaned and buried her face deeper into her pillow. Next door, her younger brother Max, age 9, jumped out of bed with the energy of a spring-loaded toy. "Good morning, sunshine." Lily greeted Max as he bounced into the kitchen. As always, children when he hugged his mom and eagerly sat down at the table. Soon, Sophie joined him, rubbing sleep from her eyes and smiling at the sight of her favorite pancakes. Greg finally made his way downstairs, greeted by a chorus of "Good morning, Dad." He groaned and joined the family at the table, savoring the peaceful start of the day. Breakfast was a time for the Marble family to come together, share their dreams from the night before, and discuss their plan for the day ahead. Day in the life with the Marble family. Chapter 1. Morning routine. Sun peeked over the horizon, casting a warm glow over the Marble household. The birds chirped cheerfully, welcoming a new day. In the cozy two-story house on Maple Street, the Marble family began their morning routine. Lily Marble, the matriarch of the family, was first to rise. She tiptoed out of bed, careful not to wake her husband Greg. As she made her way downstairs, a smell of freshly brewed coffee filled the air. Leela loved the quiet moments of the early morning, a time to gather her thoughts before the day's hustle and bustle began. She poured herself a cup of coffee, stepped on the porch, where could see her dog Rusty wagging his tail in anticipation for his morning walk. Rusty, a friendly golden retriever, was always full of energy, ready to start the day with a burst of enthusiasm. Back inside, the aroma of breakfast cooking soon wafted through the house. Lily was a fantastic cook, known for delicious pancakes and scrambled eggs. She hummed a tune as she worked, flipping pancakes, stirring eggs, playing a symphony of morning sounds. Upstairs, the sound of an alarm beeped, signaling the start of the day for the marble children. Sophie, the eldest at 12, groaned and buried her face deeper into her pillow. Next door, her younger brother Max, age 9, jumped out of bed with the energy of a spring-loaded toy. "Good morning, sunshine." Lily greeted Max as he bounced into the kitchen. As always, children when he hugged his mom and eagerly sat down at the table. Soon, Sophie joined him, rubbing sleep from her eyes and smiling at the sight of her favorite pancakes. Greg finally made his way downstairs, greeted by a chorus of "Good morning, Dad." He groaned and joined the family at the table, savoring the peaceful start of the day. Breakfast was a time for the marble family to come together, share their dreams from the night before, and discuss their plan for the day ahead. Chapter 3: School Adventures. At Maple Street Elementary, Sophie and Max went to their separate ways to their classrooms. Sophie, with her love for science and reading, and eagerly anticipated her lessons. She was particularly excited about today's science sprint on volcanoes. Max, on the other hand, loved math and sports. He couldn't wait for recess to play soccer with his friends. In science class, Sophie worked with their lab partner Mia to create a model volcano. They mixed soda, vinegar, watching, as their volcano erupted from fizz and foam. The experience in the room was palpable, and each group showcased their experience. Max Day squished it through. During math, he saw the tricky problem on the board, hitting a high five from his teacher, Mr. Jenkins. At recess, he scored the winning goal in the soccer game. His friends cheering him on. School was a place for learning and fun for the marble children, filled with new discoveries and friendships. Chapter 4: Afternoon Activities. After school, Sophie and Max headed to their respective after-school activities. Sophie had ballet practice, where she worked in their periods in Pilates. She loved the grace and discipline of ballet, finding joy in the music and movement. Max had soccer practice, his favorite part of the week. He and his teammates ran drills, practiced their footwork, and scrimmage, all under the watchful eye of Coach Tom. Max dreamed of becoming a professional soccer player one day. He took every practice seriously. While the kids were busy with their activities, Greg was wrapping up his day at work. He had a successful meeting with his team and was excited about a new project they were launching. As the workday ended, he looked forward, heading home and hearing about everyone's day. Chapter 5: Evening Reunion. The Marble family reunited at home in the evening. Leela had prepared a delicious dinner of spaghetti and meatballs, one of Greg's favorites. The family gathered around the table, sharing stories and laughter. Sophie excitedly recounted her science experience while Max detailed his soccer triumphs. After dinner, the family enjoyed some quiet time together. They played a board game with Rusty, occasionally nudging his way into the fun. The living room was filled with laughter and friendly competition. Played their favorite game, Family Trivia. As bedtime approached, Leela and Greg tucked the kids into bed. Sophie read a chapter of her favorite book, while Max insisted on one more bedtime story. Rusty curled up at the foot of Max's bed, a loyal companion through the night. Chapter 6: Reflections and Dreams. With the children asleep, Leela and Greg finally had a moment to themselves. They sat on the porch, sipping tea and reflecting on the day's events. They talked about their hopes and dreams for the future, cherishing the simple joys of their life together. As night grew darker, the stars twinkled above. They felt graceful for their family while that filled their home. The Marvel family once there was a tapestry of shared moments, small triumphs, and a promise that new adventures tomorrow. In a quiet night, with Rusty snoring softly, and the house at peace, the Marvel family dreamed of wonderful days ahead, knowing no matter what the future held, they would face it together. Chapter 7. Weekend Plans. The weekend arrived with a sense of excitement in the Marvel household. Saturdays were for adventures. Today, with no exception, the family had a planned trip to the local farmer's market, their favorite weekend activity. Leela loved browsing the stalls, picking out fresh produce and handmade crafts. Greg enjoyed sampling the local cheeses and baked goods. Sophie and Max were eager to visit the petting zoo set up for the kids. Rusty trotted along, his nose switched with all the new scents. As they walked through the market, they greeted their familiar faces and enjoyed the lively atmosphere. Sophie found a beautiful necklace, while Mac persuaded his parents to buy a jar of honey from the friendly beekeeper. It was a morning filled with laughter and discoveries. Chapter 8. An afternoon in the park. At the farmer's market, the family headed to their favorite park for a picnic. They spread out a blanket under a large oak tree, unpacked their market finds. Fresh sandwiches, fruit, and homemade cookies were on the menu. Rusty chased after a frisbee, and Sophie Max played a game of tags with the other kids in the park. Leela and Greg sat back, enjoying the sunshine and the sight of their happy children. The afternoon was perfect, with a gentle breeze and the sounds of nature all around them. It was these simple moments that made weekends special for the Marvel family. Chapter 9. Movie Night. Saturday nights were movie nights in the Marvel house. After a fun-filled day, family gathered in the living room, ready to watch a new animated film Sophie and Max been looking forward to. Popcorn was popped, and blankets were brought out for extra coziness. Rusty found a spot on the couch, nestled between Sophie and Max. As the lights dimmed and the movie started, the room filled with giggles and gaps of delight. Movie nights were a cherished tradition, time for the family to unwind, enjoy the story together. By the time the credits rolled, children were sleepy but content, ready for another day of adventure. Chapter 10. Sunday breakfast and chores. Sunday mornings meant a big family breakfast. Greg took charge, whipping up his famous waffles, while Leela prepared a fruit salad. Fruit salad, copyright. The kitchen buzzed with activity, and a smell of fresh waffles filled the house. After breakfast, it was time for chores. The family worked together, turning the task into a fun team effort. Sophie dusted the living room. Max helped Greg Greg with the yard work, and Leela tackled the laundry. Sounds a bit sexist. Shut up. Yeah, it does. No, it doesn't. Yeah, it does. Even Rusty got while chasing after a stray sock with great enthusiasm. Yeah. By midday, the house was sparkling clean. Everyone felt a sense of accomplishment. It's another example of how teamwork made the Marble family strong. Chapter 11, Family Game Day. Sunday afternoons were reserved for family game day. The Marble family had a collection of board games and card games that they loved to play together. Today they decided to marathon session of Monopoly. Craig was a strategic player, always eyeing the best properties. And we played for fun, often making trades that amused the kids. Sophie was competitive, get the building her empire. Max loved the thrill of rolling the dice and moving a piece around the board. The game lasted for hours, filling dramatic moments of success and setbacks. In the end, it wasn't about who won, but about the time they spent together, creating memories and strengthening their bond. Chapter 12, Visit to Grandma's House. One month, the Marble family visited Greg's mother, Grandma Betty, who lived in a charming house just outside of town. Grandma Betty was a vibrant, warm-hearted woman who always had a twinkle in her eye and a story to tell. The kids loved her explore her garden, filled with colorful flowers and hidden treasures. Betty would bake her famous apple pie, and they all would gather around her cozy kitchen to enjoy it. These visits were special. Grandma Betty shared stories of Greg's childhood, and the family reminisced about old times and while creating new memories. It was a reminder of the importance of a family and connections that bind them together. Chapter 13, Sophie's School Project. Sophie had a big school project due, a presentation on space exploration. She spent the week researching, creating slides, and preparing her speech. Leela and Greg were impressed by her dedication and offered their support. One evening before the presentation, family gathered in the room for a breakfast run. Sophie stood confidently, explaining the wonders of the universe. Other family listened attentively. Max asked questions. Leela offered tips, speaking clearly. Greg helped her refine her slides. Team effort, and by the end of the night, Sophie felt ready, excited to share a project with her class. Chapter 14, Max's Soccer Tournament. Max had eagerly anticipated a soccer tournament for weeks. The day the family arrived, and they finally woke up too early to get to the field, Max put on his uniform with pride, ready to give his best performance. Leela packed snacks and drinks, and Greg made sure they had everything they needed for a day at the park. Sophie brought a book to read between matches, but she also cheered loyally for her brother. The tournament wasn't intense when Max's team playing several matches. They came to the finals, a nail-biting game. Max scored the winning goal. The family erupted in cheers, cheering for his victory. Proud moment, and Max and a joyous one for the entire Marble family. Chapter 15, A Rainy Day Indoors. One Saturday, the Marble family woke up to the sound of rain tapping against the windows. Their outside plans were put on hold, but decided to make most of a cozy day indoors. Later suggested a baking session. Soon, the kitchen was filled with aroma of cookies and brownies. Sophie and Max helped measure ingredients to decorate the treats with colorful sprinkles. After baking, they set up a front living room with blankets and pillows. The family snuggled inside, sharing stories and playing games. Rusty curled up with them, enjoying the warmth and comfort. The rainy day turned into delightful adventure, laughter, and togetherness. It was a reminder that sometimes moments happening changes unexpectedly. Chapter 16, Community Service Day. The Mama family believed in giving back to their community. Once a month, they decided a day out of volunteer work this month. They decided to help out the local animal shelter. Sophie and Max were thrilled to spend time with the animals. They fed the cats, walked the dogs, and helped to clean the kennels. Rusty stayed at home this time, but they promised to bring him some new friends next time. Leela and Greg worked alongside other volunteers to organizing supplies, ensuring animals were comfortable. It was hard work, but it felt rewarding to contribute for a good cause. By the end of the day, the family felt a sense of fulfillment. They had made new furry friends and helped make a difference in their community. It was a day well spent reinforcing their values, kindness, and compassion.